Hello. How is everyone today? I am 11 minutes late. That's me. Whew. But I managed to run out and get a hot beverage because I'm just finishing the cold. And I wanted more than just tea, and I didn't want cold pressed juice because it's raining. It's muggy, so it's not cold, but it's just damp. And I thought, I'm going to do it. And I had to, my father was going through some feelings this morning right before my sale. And I needed to stop and, acknowledge his feelings and hold his hand. And that takes priority over, being here. And I would do the same for any one of you if you were having some really large emotion about something so incredibly important. I would take that moment and, or that 10 minutes or that 20 minutes and listen compassionately and hold your hand. So, that backed me up today. It happens. So I'm Lucinda. This is my Monday, what I decided to call mod styling, which really isn't right. And I need to change that word because mods means MCM. And, it's not just MCM, it's vintage and antique. So it's more of a kind of, I'm trying to do themes because that allows us to have fun and play with history in terms of styling, both household and jewelry. And it gives me something to shoot for when I put items together instead of it just being all in a big blah, pile of everything everywhere all at once. Sounds like a movie. To, think about it and then think about what I'm putting together and why. Now, I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area. That's where I ship from. I do 2-week build boxes to save you on shipping and save me on invoicing. And one thing I want to say to anyone who's been coming for a while or anyone who's new, because I'm a caregiver, so often I'm finding that the invoicing after 2 weeks is extending too far out. And I'm not happy about that as a business person. And I don't think my customers are upset. My friends are upset, but I don't think you're happy about it either. So going forward, this is week 2, Monday and Friday. I do Mondays, styling, household and jewelry, vintage and antique. And Friday, just jewelry, vintage and antique, show and tell. So at the end of the 2 weeks, I'm going to be doing invoicing that Saturday and Sunday immediately so that this is not dragged out for as long as what I'm noticing happens. All these things always come up as a caregiver, and it's just not okay that sometimes, it's a month before you get your items. It's not okay. So that's going to stop. I promise that. Okay. But I will do the 2-week build boxes because it really does save you on shipping. Even with jewelry, you can put so many things in a padded envelope. And with household items, if you get 2 and you put in some jewelry tucked around it, it saves money and it saves time. So here's the thing I ran out and got. Chai with oat milk. Today's theme is turn of the century Victorian. Now, that said, I really do have quite a few items that are indeed turn of the century and Victorian and are just fantastic. Then I have items that are in the style of that. Okay. So as I'm showing things, and I'll say this as I go along, I want you to think of Downton Abbey, upstairs, downstairs, the Gilded Age. I want you to think about how they dressed and how they accessorized and what their homes looked like. Okay. So if you can imagine that as I hold things up, you will be able to see, and I will reiterate how it fits into that theme. Okay. And because, I don't have just trays and trays of antique jewelry. I wish I did. Or boxes and boxes of just antique. Again, I wish I did, but I'm a full-time caregiver and I live in California, and I'll tell you, and I'll move on with the sale. I went out yesterday to one of my honey holes and I did find 2 items, one of which is a lot, that are 100%. One is, pushing back towards that era based on its decoration. And the other is a repop of the salts that they would have had at their table. Then I went to a brand new store. I didn't know exactly what to expect. It turns out it's an antique mall. It's fabulous. It has everything. It is so well done. I was hoping to just find some trivet stacked trays like they would have at their table, something like that. Well, they're full on retail and almost everything is locked behind glass. So I was like, well, I can't pay $80 and then come in here and ask you all to pay, $90 or $85. So yeah. So that's the way it is. That's the way it is. But I like this idea of doing a theme, and I will continue to try as best as I can of putting together a theme. And sometimes it just might be eclectic. Okay, so I do what everyone else does. I use PayPal to bill you, and I use Pirate Ship to ship. If you've never bought from me before and you decide to bid on something and win today, you email me right down there. This is my email address with your real name, your YouTube name, your address with zip code, and your PayPal email address. And this weekend, I'll be getting the invoices out. Okay? Okay. And if you ever have any questions, drop them in the chat. If you, I wrote this in my description of this sale. If you ever come in and there's one item in particular or 2 items that you really want, but you can't stay the whole time, drop it in the chat and I'll pull them up out of the order I wrote it down in. Okay? And any questions ever, please ask. Engagement in the chat is really important to me because it keeps my energy up. It keeps us talking. It keeps everything flowing. It's a fun, educational time. And if I go through and I just, keep putting up numbers and it doesn't sell, and numbers and it doesn't sell, and numbers and it doesn't sell, I bounce pretty quick because, pretty quick means after an hour, hour and a half, because it's boring for everyone. It's boring for me. It's boring for you. Yep. And boring in vintage and antique world is the opposite of how I feel about it. So don't do boring today. And if you can give me a thumbs up, if you're not subscribed. You never have to come back, but it helps me to build my business. Okie dokie. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you very much. Okay, so I'm going to start with some basic. They're not basic, but I'm going to start with some household items. And oh, yay! Look at this. When I was on StreamYard on Friday, my banner was black, and when I put the price up, it went all the way across the screen. So I had to keep taking it down. Today, it's doing correctly. So I can leave it highlighted. Thank God. Thank you, StreamYard. That was a pain in the butt. Okay. So all my household are back here. So you're going to see a lot of this. My basket is overflowing with jewelry. That must be put away. So this first item, now again, we're talking about the Victorian age. We're talking about how they collected and how they decorated. We're talking about turn of the century into the Gilded Age. So some of this is not going to be 100 years old, but it's how the styles were. Asian, porcelain, chintz, Grecian, Roman, glass. If I had stem crystalware, I was looking for that. You get the idea. And then we'll get into jewelry. So the first item that I'm bringing is this. For starting at 14. This is a beautiful piece of chintz. Now, this could have been in Downton Abbey, used for food or as display. It's pushing a little bit later into, past the turn of the century, but not entirely. It is hand painted. It is not transferware. All of that is hand painted. Sometimes this ring light helps and sometimes it doesn't. If you could see this in person, you would see where these flowers have little raised brush strokes. It is called a chintz pattern. At least that's what I know it as. It looks like cosmos to me. Pinks, purples, yellows, and it makes me happy. And this could be a single tidbit tray. I believe it is porcelain. I didn't do my research on this. I believe this is probably in the 50s. It could be as old as the 30s. The brand is Royal Carlton. I'm assuming that's England. It is in gold. Royal Carlton. You can look this up. And I stared at this to make sure it wasn't transferware. And because they use transferware even towards the turn of the century, but more than that, they usually hand painted. So it is hand painted, not transferware, and then it has a coating over the painting so you can use it. It's a really good size. If I put it up by my head, see, that gives you a good dimensions, and I will give you the dimensions as well. And anyone who ever wants to come in and say hi. And if you're shy and you just want to lurk, that's fine. But like I said, I love it when people talk to me. It just keeps me animated, gives me something to talk about instead of just talking to myself. It is almost 9 inches in diameter, and it's about an inch deep. It's about an inch deep. It is porcelain. I think it's beautiful. And because it has been lightly clear coated, you can use this to put food on. So there is my first Victorian piece. And, this is at least 75 years old. Got some crazy alert just now. Okay. So you're sewing, Kathy. Well, surprise, surprise. Hello, Kathy. So I don't do recaps. So if you come in late, you can always go to your speed settings and put it on ×2 and go through really fast. You can take a moment and look at my preview, and you can drop in the chat what you're interested in. Okay, one more time, a close-up. This is just gorgeous. I could see having this whole set for my dining table. I mean, it's really a lot, but wouldn't it be so pretty in the spring and uplifting in the winter? Yep. Okay. So it's going to go back here. Thank you for looking. Kathy, what are you sewing? Inquiring minds. I saw the whole set that you made. I'm assuming you gifted to Miss Karen Chasin Vintage. It was really lovely. Okay, this is bags. Bags. There you go. Bags. This is antique. This is from, probably a little bit earlier than the turn of the century. There's a couple ways, and it starts at 13. It's just a tiny little thing. But I know that based on the color of the glass, the design, the pontil, and just everything about it. It's a tiny little purple amethyst bowl. I don't know what they would have used, and look at how the light, depending on where the light is, it's lighter or darker. It's got all the lines pulled over, and then it has this fantastic lip that's thicker in this wave crest. Hold on. It is not crystal. Wait a minute. I take that back. This has some crystal in it. If it's, yeah, you can tell by the sound. This has some crystal in it, lead crystal. If it's 100% crystal, I don't know. I'm sure this was made over in Europe because of the crystal content. Here's the inside. $13 is a very reasonable price for this. There is no damage. I love the waving, crimping edges and the swirl. The bottom also has tooled, pulled cutouts all around. This was probably 2 pieces put together. And this is also the reason why this has this reflection going on, is because of the crystal. It is not as fancy as, of course, the name is going right out of my head, the incredible full-on lead crystal, your Vaseline glass that I found with opalescence before, but it's really nice. Here's the bottom. It's a little rough because it's a little older, but it's not anything, you know, it's just the way it is. It's from the suction cup of this piece, and then this piece being put together. And it's just a little guy. I don't know if they use these for like finger bowls. That's my fantasy. My fantasy is there would be a whole table of these beautiful little glass bowls as finger bowls, so I could wash my hands before having my little cucumber sandwiches with tea. I see Kathy is in. You haven't seen her wearing it. She will, I'm sure. Cranberry jellied sauce. And I see Kathy is in at 13. And it has this, because of the crystal, that beautiful color. So I am going to say, if I have it in the right place, fair warning. if anyone else is interested in this lovely 100 or more year old amethyst, this is a hard to find colored glass little bowl, lead crystal. You would need to come in at 14 or higher. I'm accounting for the lag, and you know what? As I say that, I'm going to take a moment, and there you go. And turn on YouTube to see that I'm not glitching. And I'm not. That's so nice. And I really am live. And I also can see by that there's only about a 10-second lag right now, which is awesome. So last call, if anyone else is interested, get in now. This purple glass is not as common as any other color. Look at that. I love this. I got it for a decent price. So otherwise I'd be charging more. Okay. No one else wants to come in at $1 or more higher. So that means it is sold to my buddy. Whoops. If I can type. For $13. Thank you, Kathy. This is a really nice, you can feel the ridges. It's a nice piece. I didn't know you liked amethyst glass, Kathy. And I just learned something about you. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Kathy is a mod who doesn't mod, but she is always right there helping me out. Oh, well, I got some cobalt coming up that is, I think, spectacular. So stay tuned. It won't be for a little while, but it's happening. Okay. I love purple glass. Purple and cobalt. And odd off colors like the green Viking that I showed that's like a lemon lime green. That I bought from Karen Chasing Vintage in one of my shorts. I showed it recently. Okay, this I'm bringing at a very low price. But let me remove this price. Sorry, y'all. And again, imagine that this shirt I'm wearing is a whole dress. I'm wearing my very long beads because back at the turn of the century up until the Gilded Age, and even during then, they would wear just like, they wouldn't even double this. This would just be long all the way down. Simple strand, tiny earrings. And they would have, you know, just like a satin one piece with a bustle dress with their hair up and a comb in it, right? So I tried to mimic that a little bit. Okay. So imagine that you are at Downton Abbey. This is something called Victorian pyrography. This is the lowest I've ever brought this. If you look up Victorian pyrography, it's extremely collectible, and some of the some of the pieces go for several $100s. It is a niche market, and I didn't know anything about it until I happened upon a yard sale in my valley, and this woman had all this stuff that her mother, all this Victorian into the 1920s that her mother collected / hoarded. So what Victorian pyrography is, what pyrography is in general, is burning wood in an artisan way. This is a very unique piece because it's small. The way it's cut, it's meant to hang on the wall, and then there's a hook like you would keep your keys back in the day. Maybe it was meant for jewelry. I have no idea. I'm not the artist. I wasn't there. It says his move. This one is very detailed. You've got the woman with her high collared blouse, almost more like a Georgian hair curling going on. You can see they tried to mimic like that. She had lipstick. She's got flowers on her long flowing blouse with the tight cuffs, long thin fingers. He has a little mustache and that, tightly, perfectly cut hair. You can see he's got his collar with tie, suit jacket. They're holding hands over this table. I mean, this and then all the rest of this, it's textured wood and burned to highlight. And then his move, I guess it's his move to ask her to marry him. I mean, yeah, exactly. So they would cut this into the wood and then use the burning process to further highlight details. And I don't know what this is, all this random little things. I've never been able to figure out if it means something. I have no idea. But it's a fantastic piece of history. There's not a lot of it out there. And if you look it up on eBay, you're not going to find a lot of it. Interesting. You're not, Kathy. This reminds you of Nancy Drew. You're not going to find a lot of it. And it sells for a lot. This is 2 pieces of wood. It looks like, this is 2 pieces of wood glued together. And this is like 120 years old. And I've noticed for the first time ever, this hole right there, and looky there, there's another one right there. Now, this is the original piece. It's an old full brass metal piece, and it is solidly on there. You can't even feel the division of it. Here's the top. Going the wrong way. In the same, that is just a natural little bit of splitting. And here, when they put this hook in, now this is what I'm going to say about this. Okay, I got it. When they put this hook in, they almost broke the 2 pieces apart back here, but they didn't. Now, looking at that, I'm going to say this. No, I'm not going to say it. I was going to say this was added later, but you know what? It's the exact same metal as that, but it's missing 2 pieces right here. And it kind of makes me wonder, maybe it had little things and you could put little nails in here yourself in these holes that are already there to hang it on the wall. So that again, you're either hanging a necklace or you're hanging your keys on it. It's a very small thing. This reminds me of the old Nancy Drew movies. I want to know why. You mean like the title, Kathy? I want to know why you said that. I want to know what you're talking about. It is 4 1/4 inches long by 4 inches tall without the hanger and the hook. With those, it's probably almost 5. And, it weighs nothing. But $18 start. This is unique. You would probably be one of the only people you ever met. It looks like some kind of walnut wood. That's like a burl wood. So probably you would be one of the only people you know that has this. So look it up. Look it up. Oh, okay, Kathy. I only have this and one other piece that I'm bringing today left. There is, I do have a geisha. a huge round circle that is geisha. That's a geisha pyrography that I got there. That's mine. I don't know if I'll ever get off of that. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I am going to do some jewelry now. And again, I don't do recaps. Some of this jewelry is indeed antique, and some of it is in the theme. So when I picked out my jewelry, which I did last night out of all my trays, as I said, I thought of how they wear very delicate, dainty, small earrings, how they wear like one long thing to just accentuate the dress, and, you know, their wedding ring, maybe a bracelet. That came kind of a little bit later with the bracelets. More, they might wear a thin gold band, or, you know, they would wear their watches later, but there were pocket watches. So I kept that in mind as I was picking stuff out. All right. And so, for instance, let's start with this piece. This is a really good example, except it's short. So they did also wear the short pieces, but I think, I'm not sure, they didn't wear them as often. And, you know, they certainly weren't wearing shorter as much in the 20s during the flapper era, but they did wear them. And this is a modern, well, okay, it's not modern, but it's been restrung to be modern. So let me show you what I'm talking about. First off, this is what I mean. This is a modern clasp, but these teeny tiny green seed beads are very old. What do I mean by that? I mean from the 40s, 50s, possibly even the 20s or the 30s. There is a quality to these green glass beads that you would have to know your glass, and you would have to know your jewelry like I do for, 40 some years to recognize that these are actually very old, teeny tiny seed beads. These are so, look how tiny they are. Let me put them on a nail. They're tiny, and they're just beautiful green. And then what they did, and how many is it? 4 strands. Then they came down and they added 1 gold spacer to bring it together, and then made it into 4 strands with 4 spacers, 4 strands, 4 spacers, 4 spacers, down to back to just the 1 each again, right? To give it definition. And then at the bottom is this enameled, like a faux cloisonne piece. This is a very old piece. This piece, I would wager, is close to 100 years old. You see the teeny tiny pearls? Let me get this over here, and I'll put it on Dolly in a second. Look at the metal and the little dots of the gold. Look at the rhinestones. They're very bright and shiny, high quality. Then you've got these teeny tiny little pearls with, hold on, it's hard to tell if these are dark green or black, very old seed beads. It's very hard for me to tell. And look at, you see this? Okay, hold on. This one has a very old piece of wrapped wire holding these tiny little pieces of metal. I mean, this is the tiniest pieces of metal. They're not real jump rings. It is just fine wire. That's the word I'm looking for. Fine wire. And in this light, yeah, I'd say they're dark green. Yep. So this was the original piece, right? And these green beads also might have been the original beads that went with it. Oh, that's really cool, Kathy. And so you know what I'm talking about. These are much older beads. So I think this whole thing, I'll show you the back, I'll show it to you on Dolly, was original. And what I think, truly, I think that this broke at some point, and a whole bunch of these green beads went flying everywhere. So someone was like, dang it. And either they did it or someone did it for them. They restrung it. So I believe originally this was a very long piece, Victorian, turn of the century. And then because it broke, they kept all of it, but they restrung it. Here is the back. It's just got like this floral design. And when I say this is enameled cloisonné, it's very hard to tell, but it is. It's not painted. It's a thick enameled cloisonné inlaid into this gold tone. For all I know, this potentially is a real low quality gold. It is thick, but it is also hollow. It's very lightweight. There you go, Kathy. Exactly. Hi, Anna. How are you? So, and just lastly, see how well made it is in the rhinestones. This is a really beautiful, beautiful old piece. I don't think I'd ever brought it before. Let me put it on Dolly. I'm not going to try to put it on me. It is now a choker. Since it was broke, it's now a choker. But it's beautiful. And I think at $20, it's a very reasonable price. I will give you the length and then I will move on. How are you, Anna? Doing well today? And welcome in, everyone. Hello, hello. Yeah, I used to, I've talked about this on Friday, where I used to go into the place here in Berkeley called Laces, that exclusively sells the antique lace and the antique beads. And these green beads, they would be selling these, and they're not cheap. So hold on, I'll say something about that. 7. It's about 10 inches on each side, including the pendant. So the necklace is 7.5, 7 3/4 on each side. So you see where this green necklace that, again, I got from Karen Chasing Vintage hits me like this. I believe if you had this on, and I'll just go ahead and try to show you. Hi, Noelle. How's it going? I'm showing this beautiful at least 100-year-old cloisonné old seed beads item. Okay. See, yes. If I could shut the clasp, It is a choker. It is a choker. It's beautiful. And I'm sure, again, it's, Italian, European. And imagine if it still had those really long, all of these seed beads on it. And, I have no way of knowing if these pearls are potentially real, but I'm here to tell you that I doubt it. Okay. And, back at the turn of the century in the Victorian times, it was no different than it is now. Not everyone, lived at Downton Abbey and could afford, high quality, real pearls. But this still probably cost a pretty penny back then. So there you go. Thank you for looking. How are you today, Noelle? Oh, Noelle. Dang it, Noelle. You always take me by surprise. I'm sorry, Noelle. Noelle is in at 20. Noelle. Hello, Noelle. I don't know why you always surprise me, but, I'm always taken aback somehow when you bid. I don't know why. This is lovely, Noelle. So if anyone else is interested, up to $50, you have to come in at $1 higher. And I've given you fair warning. I know there's a 10-second lag, but I have a lot to get through today. Last call. Yeah, I think this is the first time I've ever shown this, and I have no idea why. Not at all. But, it works into my Victorian turn of the century theme quite well. And it's sold to Noelle. And thank you, Noelle. This is right up your alley. I didn't know that you would be here today, and I'm happy you are, because this fits right in with your eye, your particular taste. Close the name. Choker. Good for you. This is beautiful. I'm happy that you have it. Okay, I am going to grab my bags real quick. This needs to go in a bag. I have a couple of things that I've been putting in my Amazon cart. And one of the things I need to put in is more of these beautiful bags. I have a lot of boxes. I need to wait till I transfer things to boxes. I did. Kathy, I finally did. That was spectacular. But Noelle, I do see what you're saying. I would love to have you take smaller pictures and turn them or whatever, so I could see the little details. But my God, what a fabulous collection. I already know you have that. And Kathy, thank you for helping me. Okay. I should not have moved my chair. Now I'm too far away from everything in this chair. I need to get the office plastic thing underneath this chair. It doesn't. Well, hola, Marita. How's it going, my friend? Let's see. Oh, I'm going to do this. Start at 16. Let's remove the 20. Good Lord. Where is it? Up here. A lot of chat. Thank you. Thank you for chatting. That really helps me to be engaged. And it also helps the algorithm. I don't know why. So this is totally something that would be worn Victorian times and kind of like more Edwardian, right before and then into the Victorian times for a short period. These gigantic, incredible hair combs. This one is covered in butterflies, tortoise shell. This is probably about 3 inches. Let me show you the back. See all of that color? So it has a lot of color. It's just that here with just the ring light and my overhead light, it's not showing it quite as well. It's a huge one. And I cannot be positive because there's a lot of so there's, see all the lines in the plastic? That makes it seem potentially much older. However, even with that, even with this incredible detail and the thinness and the tortoiseshell look, it's a yellow tortoiseshell, if you will, not white, and it's like light brown and yellowish. I cannot say that this is Victorian with any assurity. I can't say that. I can say that if it's a repop, it was done in the 70s, which would make it more than 50 years old. So what I will say about this, because I don't know, is it's Victorian style and it's at least 50 years old. But I cannot claim for sure that it is. Kathy, I don't know. See, that's the problem. I didn't check it for Bakelite. But see, it's so... I remember hair combs. We talked about this on Friday. I think I might have showed this briefly. I wore them and I remember them, and there were a few that were this fancy, but I don't remember, and that was so long ago for me, them having this much color variation and this much. I don't remember. So I can't, and I didn't test it. So, I don't know. Let me put it in my hair. Watch me ruin my hairdo. Let's see did I do that right? No, I did that all kinds of wrong. Yeah, that was funny. Let's see. Let's pretend. Look at that. Right there. Now all of a sudden, if I had on, it matches my outfit, but if I had on a whole different thing, I feel like I should be nobility. I don't know. I think it's really cool. I'm trying to show you guys. Hopefully you can see and you get the idea. It's definitely extra fancy, and it is in no way made beyond the 70s, if not earlier. So let me tell you how long it is. Hey, hello, Kat. What's going on? Welcome in. Have a seat. Have fun. I'm doing my themed Monday. Household and jewelry. It is 5 inches across. The comb itself is 3 inches tall, just this part. And the prongs are 3 inches long. So altogether, it's 6 inches tall and 5 inches across. It's a big one. It's a big one. I love it. So think about it. You think it's Bakelite? Yeah, I should test it. If it doesn't sell today, I'm going to actually right now, unless someone comes in later, and it could be because of the waves, see, in the plastic. A modern repop would be very solid. It wouldn't have all that waving going on in the plastic. So I'm going to put it aside to test it. And if it turns out, thank you, Kat. If it turns out it's Bakelite, you know what happens on my channel, right? But right now, it's, I'm selling it to you for what I think is a good price without doing all the research, etc. If I test it and it turns out to be Bakelite, and then I can determine that it's really old, the price is going to go up, because something like that in Bakelite would be worth a lot. So I often don't have time to, or I don't feel it's necessary, or I forget about it because I'm a full-time caregiver, to test and research every single item. And that works to your advantage. I try to never sell anything at more than 2/3 of what eBay levels it out at. And I try to sell it at half of that. But often there are pieces like this that maybe wind up being Bakelite, and I haven't taken the time to do that because I don't have the time. And you get the deal. And that's good because, I buy things from other resellers because the same thing, they haven't done whatever. And I look at it, I'm like, oh no, I'm buying that. And then I keep it or I turn around and resell it. So take advantage. Okay, let's do another jewelry piece. So I brought this. I'll bring this and then I'll bring the earrings that kind of match. I've brought this many times and I still am confused as I'm going to bring it for this. I'm still confused as to why it hasn't sold yet. I just maybe haven't had the right person or the person who understands, or I don't know. And that's okay. That's okay. This is something I had in a box for 30 years. All of you who've been with me for a while will have seen this by now. Here's the back. This is most likely a 1930s piece. Why do I say that? It's just a fold over clasp. It has no, see that wire? That's a giveaway. It has no maker's name. I've seen a few of these online, not this exact one, but similar. So what this is a bracelet, number one. I put in the start. Whoopsie. But I didn't highlight it. This is silver wire. Is it silver? It's been so long since I've shown this. Excuse me. No, gold. Gold wire. I believe it's probably real gold. Very fine. And this is some type of like a paint or an enamel. Let's go with enamel that's inset and set by drying in between each wire with faux pearls. So it's kind of like wire wrapping, except it's just the outline of the flower in this case with the baked baby blue enamel in between each piece. Let's see. So you can really get a good idea of that. I just saw it. Where was it? Because it's much older from this one. See this one right here? See how the enamel is beginning to, there's some pieces, it's very thin, that have broken away and is gone from the gold wire right there. I'll show you the back. See that? And there's still some kind of little film attached to the wire that the blue enamel or paint was done over. It's very delicate. This is a very delicate piece. And it's definitely turn of the century to, see, there's one that's lost a lot. But when you're wearing this overall, and that one has a little bit of its wire missing. I think this is 1920s, 1910. When you're wearing this, the whole thing, you don't notice the little tiny imperfections. This is a really interesting, beautiful little piece. I've had it so long, and then now I have it in with all my stuff, and I keep bringing it to show to sell, and it's so dainty and delicate. I mean, I would wear this, but I would more use this in my displays. It's so dainty and delicate that I think I'm going to have to start keeping it in an individual box. I'm not liking the way that it's been being stored. So the fact that it fits my wrist means that it fits up to a 7.5. That's ladies medium. And I would say it would fit down to the top of a lady's small, 6.5. But I wouldn't, it won't go bigger, and I wouldn't go any smaller. It would be too loose. So that's that for $19. It's a gorgeous, delicate piece. And it's possible, I didn't test, I didn't do the teeth thing, that these little tiny pearls could be real. They have a certain luster and a sheen to them. But I hesitate to say that because the back construction is more kind of thoughtless in that way. So, and there's no maker. But when you get into really, really old jewelry, unless it's one of the big companies, that often happens. So, 19. And I'm going to put this over here by Mom. Hi, Mom. Because I want to put it in a box. Thanks for looking. So what I'm going to show you now, and thank you, Kat, is for me what would be matching earrings. Now, these would not be worn in the Victorian age, but would they be worn in like the 10s, 20s, 30s? Yes, they would. And I like them. But I like everything I bring, or I wouldn't bring it. I have a hard and fast rule about that. And so anyone that's coming in, thank you for coming in so much. I appreciate it. If you could hit the thumbs up, it means the world to me. It really helps my algorithm. And I'm trying to grow my business. I need to grow my business. This needs to sustain me, probably sooner than later. And I've been treating it for the first year as just a fun and enjoyable, and a business, but also just kind of a hobby in some ways. And 2025, it's a business. So these start at 15. Same blue type of flowers with these really good quality rhinestones. On the plastic button, this is probably a celluloid or a lucite clip-on earrings. Let me show you the back and see the light coming through. Again, probably should test it for bakelite, right? Although I don't recall light blue as a bakelite color. I think it's probably more of a celluloid. There's no maker. Now, what I would do, and this is, again, this is solid metal on the back. but that same painted blue color as the bracelet. Let me show you. See, it's solid metal. It's not wire work, but I still think they match, and that's just me. So here they would be on your ear, which is very pretty if you can wear clip-ons. But the other thing, now just imagine I'm wearing a different solid color shirt. We always talk about this. Shirt collars. I don't have it on that great at the moment, and this is not the right colors at all. But for $15, these are probably 1930s. They're unusual and unique, eclectic. That's like one of my jams. They got the plastic going on and no maker on the clip. They are probably about 1 inch in diameter. Okay? So there you go. There's going down. They is going down. Don't do recaps. Don't do recaps this weekend. I need to be doing invoicing, and I need to go buy new bins and do a whole sorting of my jewelry. And next week, I'm going to be bringing a lot of my stock that I've been showing that hasn't sold next week. And the prices are going to be at the lowest that I can bring them at. And so look for some bargains next week. Okay. Let's see. Let me do one more jewelry item and then I'll do some household. Again, I appreciate everyone who's here very much. Let's see. Let's do this. I just got this. Now, is this Victorian? No. Is it 1920s, 1930s? No. Would this type of thing been worn back then? Yes, but not this particular style. But I just picked these up. I have two and they're a little bit different. And I thought I've got to bring these. They're just too incredible. Look at this. Oh my God. That's what I want to say. Oh my God. Look at it. Look at that. The quality of these stones, the setting, the large dome, the hugeness of the one in the middle and the ones on the outside ring. Holy bejesus. And then they each have two on the outside, one on the inside. Two on the outside, one on the inside. None of the stones are turning anything else. Kathy, right? This is insane. And I know 25 is actually, I probably could be asking 35 or 40. I mean, I know, Katie and Nate, I did a mixture of their names, would probably start this a little higher than 25. Look at it. It's wowzer. I mean, this is late 40s, early 50s. It's good Lord. It's huge. Look at it's huge. It's huge. The one thing, let me go right here. The puddling is fantastic. I'll show you that again without the thing on. They did what so many people did later for a while there. Whoa, in the 90s. See how sharp it is? This was filed down to not poke through. This was very commonly done. These super sharp pins like that is a good indication of 40s, 50s, but many people cut these and filed it down so that it didn't poke through the pin back. And not an unreasonable thing to do. It doesn't hurt the value. I get it. I mean, I don't do that. I would not do that, but there you are. Look at the puddling. I'm surprised this isn't signed like Weiss. I can only say this with 80% confidence, but I think this was a very high-end maker and it's just not signed. Who that maker is, I didn't do my research. I know enough about it though to say that it's definitely worth $25. And it's huge. So I'll give you a dimension and I'll move on. Thank you, Kat. I appreciate it. It is 2¼ inches in diameter, and it stands an inch tall. It stands an inch tall. There is this one stone that keeps bugging me. But then every time I go and look at it, I don't see what I think I see. So there's this one stone right after the big stone that keeps trying, see right there? Depending on the light, it looks as though the foil or the puddling or something happened. But then you move it and the other ones have that little bit of black occasionally, and that one. So I don't think there's anything actually wrong with that stone. I think it's just something that happened in the manufacturing process. And see, it swirls. And like the atomic. Okay, this is going down. Don't do recaps. Okay. Let's do a thank you for looking. Thank you for being here. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. Okay. Let's do a couple household items. Kat, what are you doing today? Working and lurking? You got the day off? Kathy is sewing bags. Kathy, what kind of bags? Like shopping bags? Like purses? Like, what does that mean? Let's see. I wrote this stuff down. Okay. This, I'm lowering the price on this. I want someone to own this. And I'm unclear if I might be making a couple dollars on this, and that's okay. This is the French ivory celluloid. It's in excellent condition. I have brought it so many times and have been unable to sell it, and it's been very confusing. It is French ivory celluloid. It is very thick. Now, it's French ivory, that's so called because it has the lines instead of just being solid. That's like how I know the difference. And apparently it was more desirable. It's this beautiful frame. It's square, but also with the curves, which makes it kind of sexy. It's a little dirty. I apologize. I can clean that. That's just dirt from the yard sale. It was under trees. And then look at the back, y'all. The back is enclosed with another very thick piece of the French ivory celluloid and this swing back piece. And it stands. It works. This is absolutely, at the very least, 1920s, if not, earlier in the Victorian times. And it would have been with their vanity set on their vanity, and maybe have a picture of their child or their husband or their wife or whatever. It's gorgeous. Now I'm bringing it for $10 because I don't know why it doesn't sell. There's nothing wrong with it. So, and these sell for the French ivory celluloid. It probably sells for, I didn't highlight it. I'm so sorry. $10. It probably, I looked these up a while ago. This probably sells on eBay for about $18. No. Okay, hold on, you guys. Hold on. I gotcha. I'm just in the middle of this, but I do see you. Who wants to be my mod? Who wants to be my mod? You get perks. I'll give you jewelry. So this $10, there's just no, how can you go wrong with 100-year-old celluloid French ivory frame that still works, that is this heavy? I mean, this back, it's heavy, for $10. How can you go wrong? I'll get there. I promise, Noelle. I promise. It is 4 inches tall and 3 inches wide. Yeah. Starts at $10. See the construction? Nothing wrong with it. Nope. No, well, bless your heart. No, honey. I didn't, but I did put it aside to test it. So, okay. So I'm going to just say, because you were the only one who is interested in Noelle, I'm curious. I want you to sold to Noelle for $16. Thank you, Noelle. I would love, because I know you research your pieces and you probably just went offline and researched. And knowing you are very wise in your purchases. You have a great eye, and I know you do your research. So I would love to know if you found out if you think this is Bakelite, and if you think it's actually back to the Victorian times. Or if you're buying it thinking it's a repop. I love it. So good for you, Noelle. Good for you. It's beautiful. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, you are, Noelle. Noelle, anyone who follows Noelle around, or is where Noelle, God, please don't follow Noelle around. Don't follow anyone around. Don't stalk people on YouTube. That is not okay. That is not okay. That is not what I meant. I meant, if any of you are familiar with Noelle, she has impeccable taste and an incredible collection. Don't let her try to tell you otherwise. Thank you again, Noelle. Let me put that down here. Hair comb. Where's the hair comb? Oh, well, it's not. So here. Hair comb. I almost didn't write it down, Noelle. You would not have got it. Okay. These are really cool. I just found them yesterday. And as far as I'm concerned, they are repop, but let me get rid of the 10. They fit in the Downton Abbey Victorian to turn of century sale perfectly. And I forgot to put them. I bought them. I had everything in this bag, and I pulled out the one thing. And then it was this morning I woke up and I went, what about those blah, blah, blah. And I came right upstairs and pulled them out. And so they weren't in my preview. Choice for 6. Hi, Sarah Lee. How's it going? How are you? Thank you for popping in. Okay. These were made in the 60s. I have 4 of them. They're $6 a piece. So, God, and this would so be on the table as the butler and the footmen who are standing with their gloves on by the table, waiting to take the plate and put it aside and bring the new servings around, right? They do have a little bit of condition issues, but there's multiple things I think about these. These were made in Japan in the 1960s. You can find them online. One place has it correct with the Japan label. There's a lot of sites that are calling these rare and antique. No, but they could be, and I understand why people think that. Cobalt blue. Now, everyone here knows that we can't make cobalt anymore because all the cobalt is being directed to our electronics. So they're looking for a new formula. But currently, there is no new cobalt glass being made. These are salts. They are sterling silver plated. Now, generally, in like the Downton Abbey, you see all the implements and the serving dishes that have the metal either holders or the overlay. For whatever reason, that was a thing. Maybe it made it easier to hold. I don't know. So here's the bottom. In there. Look at what does that say? I didn't even know that said something. Okay, now hold up. Stamped on the bottom of this one, which I didn't know because I was just rushing taking the tags off this morning, it says Korea. And they all say Korea. One of the ones I saw online said Japan, and I knew that they were not rare antique. So Korea, when were we buying things from Korea? The 50s? 50s and 60s maybe? Yeah. So what is awesome, of course, just like the oil and vinegar sets, this comes off. It is sterling silver overlay. Just a thin little basket, and that's where it says Korea. I think we were buying from Korea in the 50s and 60s, and then that was it. We moved to Hong Kong, and then China. Japan was always in there for a long time. So this one does not have much, but there is tarnishing. Here is the cobalt blue bottle. I love cobalt blue. Oh my God, I love cobalt blue. And where is it? Where is it? There is the smallest of seams. So it was 2 pieces put together. The cobalt blue is dark, dark, dark. It's a really good cobalt. And the tops come off. So it's a screw top. But here's what I was thinking, because I'll show you the other ones and some of the condition. If you don't like the fact that they're salt and peppers, you could put them like this. And even though there's a screw top, you could put a cork in here and use it for something totally different. I mean, just the cobalt blue tiny bottles are worth something to me. Just this beautiful designed sterling silver overplate is worth something to me. But the problem becomes with a couple of them. That's why I put them $6 choice. Sarah Lee, my email is, it'll come back in a minute. Yeah, 50s, 60s. Kathy, see, Kathy backed me up. I knew that, but she's backing me up. The problem becomes, see this, because it's an overlay. See all the patinaing. You can use a silver cloth and you can use some silver paste, and much of that will come off. But because it's overlay, it's going to probably leave a little pitting, but not necessarily. I didn't try it before the sale, and if they don't sell today, I will do it on my own. So that's where I thought, well, take the cap off and put in a cork instead, because these are beautiful. So this one has hardly any, if at all, conditions. This one has the top, some condition issues. But they fit in the Victorian theme for me. This one has just the slightest little bit going on there and nowhere else. And I literally dumped out. Someone had also put pepper in these, even though there's no distinction between which one is which. Oh, yes, there is. Man, good grief. See, salt and pepper. Salt and pepper. So they really should be two together, a set, right? But they're not. They're being sold at $6 each. Someone donated these and left the pepper in these. I had to pour them out and wash it. I thought, who the heck donates stuff filled with pepper? Like, you can't empty the pepper? I just thought that was like rude, actually. And it is the pepper ones that seem to have the wear. So I wonder if it's something to do with the spice. Don't know. But again, these bottles, oh, this has some salt in it. Look at that. I need to clean that out. Or you can clean it out. Either way. Just these cobalt blue bottles from the 50s. They're worth $6 standing alone. So there's this set and this set. And it is the peppers. I think the pepper had a reaction. And they are, you think celluloid? Yes, Noelle. I think so too. I do not think it's a 1970s repop. I'm in full agreement with you. But because I didn't do my research, I couldn't say that. And if I can't say it with confidence, I can do what I do, which is make my best guess and say that to y'all and then let you determine. And most of my friends have a very good eye, and they're good at making up their own mind about stuff. They're a touch over 2.5 inches tall. A touch over 2.5 inches. And I just think they're elegant as all get out. So each set would be $12, $6 each. If you wanted all four because you were gonna, do something, I don't know what with them, $6 is $24. I would sell all four to you for $20. And that is a hell of a steal, and that is only at this sale. Okay? They're going down. Honestly, it's the anyway, that's just me. I love them. But yes, Noelle, I agree with you. And forgive me, y'all, if I'm a little wow, look at that. Okay, hold on. Let me. Oh, good. Okay, it looked like I was like a minute lag between StreamYard and YouTube, and that was terrible. Forgive me if my words are coming out a little funnier than usual today. They usually come out pretty weird. When I get talking really fast or a lot, I say some odd things sometimes. for other reasons, which I've discussed before. But today I'm in the rain is moving out, but also moving right back in. So it's causing me to have a fibromyalgia flare, and that makes my words blah, 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 like that. Okay. These two items. And again, you have to imagine. I don't know, Kathy, because the two that are damaged is the pepper. So, and the one had little tiny little things that look like pepper. I don't know. This starts at 12. I picked this up nine months ago. Brought it to a lot of sales. Nobody wants it. But I still think it's totally awesome. I still think it's gorgeous. And it fits. Imagine the Downton Abbey marbled fireplaces and the mantelpieces and their libraries with their selected Roman, Grecian, marbleized, and Oriental items that they collected, right? Kathy. And then look at this piece. Because that's what this is meant to mimic. This is from I'm going with the 50s. It wasn't really an MCM thing. It was prior to that. And they didn't really get back into this in the 70s. A little bit. They got back into the Roman, Grecian in the 70s for a little. So it's either the 50s or the 70s. But this is a type of thing that would be on a mantelpiece in these beautiful, elegant nobility houses back in the Victorian times. It is just a coppery gold paint. It is not like weeping gold. And they are like Roman or Grecian people. There's two women under, I'm assuming like under a tent kind of canopy. See their flowing gowns and their bare feet. It is a beautiful baby blue. Here's a soldier with, oh, it must be Roman. See the those boot cleaner helmets. That's what I call them. With his, I don't know, huge javelin thing. And it is a vase or an urn, but you know, it's not an urn like in that sense. But see, now here's a lady doing her makeup with her hair way back like that, which to me is more like the Nefertiti type of look, Egyptian, which Romans copied some, the Roman women. And then I think this is called a, what is that called, y'all? A lyre? A lute? It's a musical instrument. That's what I think it is. Anyway, it's probably almost 7 inches tall. Here is the inside. It was never used. Never used. And just imagine it on your mantle. Imagine it in your kitchen with utensils. I think I would like this in my bathroom. Not sure what I would keep in it, but I really like the color. And then the pedestal has this and then also the rounded square. It's 6-sided. There is a seam, but it's hardly noticeable the way they did the paint. There's the bottom. And this paint is in perfect condition. So I'll tell you how tall it is and I'll move on. It is, Lord, that's difficult. 5.5 inches, almost 5 3/4 inches tall. So 6 inches was pretty close. And it's 5.5 inches wide, but the opening where you could put your flowers or whatever you were going to put in here is 3 3/4. Lear, thank you, Kat. Lear, there you go. Because there's the names of the instruments get me confused. Lear. So think about it for your consideration. $12. I'm not sure how much I paid. Doesn't matter, but I don't think I'm making a lot more. I am in California. That's another thing, y'all. I am in California, and I do my best to have a bid. I'm telling you, my head is starting to feel like it's going to explode. Thank you, Kat. I need a mod. I need a Jane. Okay. Fair warning. Thank you, Kat. Fair warning, and I'm just going to go with last call because it's been a while. It does remind me of Wedgwood. Maybe that's what they were going after. It's a beautiful piece. Thank you so much, Kat. Thank you. Let me mark that down. Kat. Well, you know, I do have your email. Thank you, Kat. Thank you. I do have your email, but I don't have your, saved, your shipping info or PayPal. Can you email that? And, Sarah Lee, you were asking what's my email, and I never got back to. My apologies. It's right there. And I will now type it in the chat. As long as I'm saying that. And I'm sorry, honey, you should have done what everyone else does, which is bug the crap out of me until I answer your question. I need a mod. I don't have one. Thank you so much. So yeah, send me your info. Oh, fantastic. Because of your degree. What is your degree? Thank you, Sarah Lee. Kat. Oh, thank you, Kathy. Kathy is kind of my mod. She pops in as she can, and she does a lot to help me with this channel. Kat, what's your degree? I have no idea. I have a degree, a master's in social work therapist from USC, one of the top 10 universities in the country. But I couldn't, long story, not getting into today. I couldn't use it. Hello, Beela's comment. Your name is Jane. Well, hi, Jane. I'm good. I hope you're good. Welcome in. We're doing an auction here. It's nice to meet you. Yeah, I love history. I love history. I used to want to, Kathy is, yes, Noelle. I second that statement. When I was 17 and 18, I wanted to be either anthropologist or archaeologist, and I studied a lot of history because of that. Yep. Okay, so this is the lowest I've ever brought it. But I, just like the frame for $10, French ivory celluloid, confusing to me. This is just celluloid, but it starts at 10. It has that totally fantastic yellow, golden, marbleized top. It says baby. So it was for probably baby powder, right? I love this piece. I've only actually shown this piece a couple times. Here's the container. It's just your basic, ivory colored thin celluloid. There is no damage. It's a great little container. I love the colors on the top. Again, here is that beautiful, see how it stands up on there? Baby. Here's the inside lid. Looks like it has a little dust on it. Again, I bought this from a woman. Yep, and same as the inside. It just needs me to wipe it out with a napkin. I bought this from a lady whose mother was a hoarder of Victorian items. And she said she had 3 sisters. And so between the 4 of them, they all took scads of stuff that they kept. And then, 10 years later, she had this huge yard sale and got rid of even more of the stuff that she had kept. Her whole house was filled with this. Could you imagine having a whole house filled with like mint condition Victorian items? Oh my God. Take me to that estate sale. For Vaseline. Well, I don't know, Kathy. See, so Kathy, enlighten me, because oh, that's fantastic. You know what? My dog is not a certified service dog, but he is my therapy dog. And I firmly believe in service animals. So I'm so glad you have that. Kathy, before I put this piece down, can you enlighten me about Vaseline? So Vaseline back in the 20s, 30s, 10s, even, Victorian times, did you buy it in like a huge mess of it and then just scoop a little bit out into containers? Just like you'd buy a huge things of flour, rice, etc. Is that what you did with Vaseline? I don't know this about history. So I'm just really curious. And you know what? My baby is 35. But if she was a baby right now, I would buy this and I would store cotton balls, or I have no idea. I would put the diaper pins, because I used cloth diapers, although I had a diaper service. But I use cloth diapers. I would put my diaper pins in here. I would use this. And it says baby on it. I could be the baby, right? You could give me a little surprise in here. Here you go, baby. Yep. So, $10. $10. Okay. It could be, but you don't know. Celluloid has been, or Vaseline, Kathy. Kathy? Vaseline or celluloid? Because celluloid, I know, has been around a long time. But what about Vaseline? And I don't know. I'm just curious. That's all. I'm just curious. Okay, we're going to do some jewelry items. What time is it? Oh, excuse me. My headache is going off the charts. It's time for me to take a medication. Hold on. My apologies. Okay. Oh, no, I do have one more set of, they're not really household items. They are display and wearable, but they're not jewelry. Okay. Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I think you could make Vaseline. As long as, it's kind of like a lard. It's just a grease. So you have to strain a bunch of stuff out. This sounds a little gross, but you You could make Vaseline probably fairly easy. I'm going to look that up. I mean, we could make candles, we can make soap. There's so many things that we can make, and the funnest way that I ever did all of that stuff was by doing it in a gathering of my women friends, right? And I'd love to start doing that again when I go back up to my homestead. Making candles, making combinations of essential oil, making soap, having canning parties, right? So that I'm canning my own food, something that we're having a problem with right now. We need to be, right now, canning food. But so I'm going to look up Vaseline. All right. So these are, oh, well, that's a problem. Maybe we don't have to have a petroleum base. I don't know. So I put these together, and you could wear these if you are very tiny, the gloves. I would put them in a shadow box and add jewelry. Okay. We've talked about this, and I've shown this before on my channel. These are real kid leather gloves made in France. They are washable. I got them at an estate sale about 3 or 4 months ago. And it was the last day, the last couple hours, and there had clearly been lots and lots of these. And I believe that the lady actually wore these. Ooh, there we go, as Noelle. 100% mineral oils and waxes. Yeah, see? It's just like a wax, and you can buy mineral oil at any pharmacy. Or you used to be able to not that long ago. Yes. So let me show you. These gloves are beautiful. So they are size 6.5, made in France. They are a little misshapen, but all you have to do, because they're washable, is look up how to wash these, probably in like cold water, probably hand soak them, and then lay them out or put them over a hand form if you're unhappy with the shape, in order to display them. And then, so what would you do with a shadow box? For instance, you would put, this is hard to do when I'm vertical, right? You could put something like these very old Art Deco clip-on earrings on here, and a necklace draped over, and you get the idea, right? So here's the gloves, and they again are, here's the thing. Thank you. Says here, kiss something kid. It's a type of leather made in France. And then down here it talks about hand washable. That's the type of leather it is. Or maybe the brand. I don't know. Nice idea. Hey, Becky, look at you, and you're still a mod. Becky, I need a mod. Becky could be my mod. Yeah, like as if she doesn't have other things to do. And then this hand tatted shirt collar. That was when I went to a different estate sale. This was their grandmother's. She hand tatted. This is not embroidered. This collar, it is cotton thread. There's the button closure, and she wore it. So this is another shadow box item. And let's, we're talking Downton Abbey, we're talking, you know, for years and years, you would fancy something up with a collar or with a tie, not a scarf, but an actual women wore ties. Here is the inside. It is still pressed. This is where it doubles over and is folded deliberately to give it some height. You would wear this over a shirt and over a dress to fancy it up when you went out, change the look of it so you didn't have to own as many clothes. And this would fit, let's just take the button off. This fits me. No problem. I would not wear this in this day and age. That is crochet 100%. Okay. Well, I believe you. I am not going to argue about it. Bella. My mother embroidered, crocheted, knitted as I was growing up. And then there's tatting. But I will believe you that it's crochet. And I can see why you say that right here. Tatting probably is finer work than this. Nonetheless, this lady made this, and it is 75, 80 years old. She didn't make it in her, you know, in the 90s. It's very old. I am using backwards. I have no idea. Are you saying to me, Bella, that it's supposed to have this? Yes, it goes, but I don't have, I'm just showing you the idea. I don't know if I'm saying your name right. If you could put it phonetically in the chat, that would help me a lot. I don't have the time to put it underneath this, right? Because I'm showing you and I have a lot more to show you. But you're right. It would go under here. Yes. And then it becomes like, you know, it upgrades everything. Yes, you are correct. So the two of the gloves in this is 20. How do you, Bila? Thank you, Bila. Thank you. Because I hate saying people's names wrong. I hate it when people get mine wrong. I don't hate it, but I dislike it. So how would you measure that? That's a good question. I don't know that, but I tell you what, I wear a lot of rings, and I can tell you, you see how, look at, ladies were tiny. This is just a button for appearance. It doesn't undo. So some gloves would have where the button undid, and so it made this part wider. These are much older and very tight. So 6.5, you would have to have small hand to get it in there. So these date back to the time when women were little. You know, these very easily could be 100 years old. They are little. Thank you, Bila. Okay, so those were 20. If you change your mind or if you're just coming in, think about it and let me know, please, because I'm here and I don't do recaps. The button is in the front. Thank you, Becky. Thank you, Bila. I really appreciate all the input. I love Fridays. I do show and tell, and I talk even longer than this about all the items and why I think what is what, and but on Mondays, because I've decided to do themes, I'm also talking, and we're imagining that we are in Downton Abbey days. Measure around the knuckles on your hand. Yeah, 6, that's a 6.5, and it's small. But again, because it doesn't have the button, your hand going in, you've got to have tiny, slender fingers, right? Thank you so much. Kathy is a wealth of information. Okay, let's do some jewelry. Now, again, most of it is older. A few pieces are antique, and other is just fits in. So we're going to do this. Your grandmother wore a 5. Yeah, see, they were tiny little ladies. Okay, so this starts choice at 15. I so appreciate all of you being here. I really do. Thank you so much. There's 2 of them as I lean over here to get them. Choice at 15. And Becky, I'm so happy to see you. I haven't seen you. I see you sometimes at your Saturday show, but that's it. And we need to talk, girl. So this is choice number 1. I showed these as an idea of a shadow box or a vanity table display or coffee table display, whatever you want to do. And these are oh, there I am. I'm back. I disappeared for a minute. The rhinestone quality, that green, I want to say that it's check glass, but I can't be 100% sure. They're on copper. And the construction, look at the looping. They're very nice. They are screw back earrings. I cannot wear them. So that, to me, is why I'm thinking display. They wouldn't work well for a collar. Now, see, look, there you go. There's the copper. It comes down. It has that piece attached and then comes up and over to the back. Really well done. And the puddling back here, the bottom is actually... Well, no, I was going to say it's similar to how they do check glass, but I take that back. But the stunning deep green very much says more of like a check glass. The white is just a good quality rhinestone. They're absolutely gorgeous. This is choice number 1. They'd be beautiful on. If you can wear screw back earrings, these are beautiful. And actually, so having talked about these, they're very deco, right? These are like Art Deco style and dainty screw back and no wear at all. Look at those. So I'm going to go with Art Deco on those. So that's choice 1. And choice 2 is a little more modern. Again, they're screw backs. But I bought them at the same place. And these remind me of little Christmas trees. And again, you've got that dark, dark green glass. And that these move, which I'm a big fan of movement in my jewelry. So you've got your copper or you've got your silver. And both have this incredible green glass. Start at 15, your choice. And these are the type of items, because most people cannot wear screw back earrings, that I would use as a shadow box display. Okay, so that was your choice at 15. They're going to wind up being in a shadow box of mine. Okay, thank you for looking. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. It really helps enormously. I actually am starting to have very short commercials in front of my old live sales. I noticed that yesterday. I was like, whoa, wow. I have 3,000 hours which apparently is a milestone, but I don't have enough subscribers. You have to get to 1,000 and blah, blah, blah. But my watch time is apparently enough where they're actually throwing in some commercials. And I was flabbergasted about that. Okay, so this, Kathy Wiseman helped me figure out what the heck this is. Of course, Kathy is a wealth of information, I'm telling you. And so this is a sweetheart pin. These were made in the Philippines for other purposes, and starting in World War I, they started making these very thick mother of pearl pins for people in World War I very much, and it really caught on in World War II. They would have gold wire and write a name here. They would tell whoever made these, I want you to put Mom, or I want you to put Susie, or whatever here. And this one is a blank. It never had a name. And what I think about this is, because I talked about it a lot when I first brought it, I think this is, as weird as this sounds, I think this is supposed to be a bomb. It could be an eternal flame. Don't know. So if it was a bomb, it'd be like that. And when I said that to my father earlier today, he was like, oh, that's so depressing. You give your sweetheart a pin with a bomb saying, look at all the people I killed. And I said, I don't think that was the point, Dad. I think the point was it designated that you were in the Air Force, as opposed to the Navy or the Army. But maybe it's an eternal flame. So look at the colors in this. Sweetheart pin. I can't tell you if it's World War I or World War II, but it seemed to fit into this genre well enough. Hand carved that I didn't care. Look how thick it is. These sell for quite a bit online. They're very collectible. And look how old the pin is. It's just like that piece of bent metal with literally a hook that then hooks underneath here. And there you can see where they put the pin in, drilled through. You can see how thick this is. This is heavy. It's about 3 inches long, a little over an inch wide. And I just think it's really cool. It has lots of color, which is coming through some on here. Sweetheart pen. Pretty cool. Improved nutrition. Yes. Right. 100%. I mean, it was nutrition. And another thing, who was just saying that? Oh, I was watching a really old Wednesday's Vintage Vendors, and we were talking about my tiny little porcelain from Prussia teacups or hot chocolate cups. And I was talking about maybe women just couldn't drink very much, and that's why the servings were so small, because they were in those corsets. And so they were malnutrition because they couldn't eat. Yeah. So anyway, sweetheart pin, $23. Okay. Thank you for looking. So, Kat, selling vintage and antique, it is history, right? It's repurposing, reusing, and it's history. It's pretty cool. Okay. And I get to keep learning more and more history as I'm doing this, because you have to in order to sell it. Oh, how interesting. The medieval cloisters. That sounds interesting. Okay, this is a very low price. I've had this for a while. I love it. But let's put it on Dolly. It was a vintage pearls. I believe these are actually pearls. I don't think they're faux pearls. And the glass crystal beads that someone took apart a vintage necklace. Whoa, blowing out the color. I'm ordering a white Dolly. I think black blows color out. I don't like it. It is a creamish beige color. And someone took a necklace apart and then did this kind of like macrame hand knotting of all these pearls and crystals. So I hate the way Dolly is showing this. So let me take it off. Dolly. Also, I just got grainy. Oh my good Lord. What is happening with my phone? Keeps setting itself to like 5 minutes behind where I am. Very weird. Okay. Here you go. So these are a little rough. So I can't say with 100% that these are real pearls, but they are a little rough, and they may be. They may just be faux. But you see how someone took and did this kind of very light macrame work, if you will. And the knotting to hold the piece together. People often repurpose vintage jewelry. I don't always agree, but I don't disagree either. Sorry, it just flickered for a minute. AB crystal pieces. And the reason why I included is because it's just this simple, long pearl necklace, which is what people would wear, ladies would wear in the Victorian times. They would just wear a very simple one strand long necklace with a matching pair of earrings, or sometimes not any earrings at all. So that is why I brought it, even though, it's not strictly Victorian. It is the idea. See, it goes with this shirt very nicely. It would be quite lovely on a dress. It weighs nothing. $15 start. Cat, oh, your mom is moving in on February 27th. So if anyone changes their mind, let me know now. I don't do recaps. Let me know now, or on the replay, you have up to 5 days to claim before I change my prices. And sometimes, I sell Mondays and Fridays. So sometimes I'll be selling on Friday, and if no one claims that item over the weekend, I bring it back on Monday, maybe at the same price, maybe a different price, maybe I add it together with something else. So just keep that in mind. Kat, have you ever done that type of caregiving before? This is going down. If anyone has just come in, please give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. And you can put your speed at ×2 and drop in the chat something you're interested in and ask me if it's sold or not. Also, you can watch my preview for this, Monday's Victorian preview that I dropped. And any item you're interested in, drop it in the chat. So, Kat, if you've never done anything like that before, and or if you would just like someone to talk to, some moral support, you have my email. I've been doing this for 4 years, and they didn't move in with me. I moved back into my, well, 3/4 of the time, I moved back into my family home, and bless your heart, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. And I couldn't do anything different, but there we are. Let's do another nice long one. Unclear of what it is, but I think I know, but I'm not sure. You're welcome, Kat. This is a community where we're all, vintage, take me away, like Calgon, take me away, right? And we're very kind and we're very compassionate. And we just want that, the moment of being in this. And I totally get that. But we also have real lives and we have real stuff going on. And I have gotten a lot of support from this community about doing caregiving. Oh, Noelle. And Kat, that sounds so terrible. I'm so sorry about that. And Noelle, good grief. That's disturbing. That's disturbing. I can't. Noelle. Fun fact of the day, Noelle. Thank you. Okay. No, I don't either. Although after 4 years, I'm exhausted out of my mind. So this is a blue stone, hand knotted in between with rock crystal beads in between the blue, graduating, and it's like a navy blue. And this one, I am just learning my semi-precious stones. I'm going to say with the 80% that it's lapis. Okay, but 20% I could be wrong. I know these are rock crystal. I mean, you can see the crystal, right? It's very obvious. Little kind of almost square, round, polished beads. So here's what happens. It's really long. Small. Where'd I go? I moved it and then, okay. Small beads going to medium size, and it feels so good and so smooth on your hand and on your neck. I mean, it's like butter. Down to a little bit larger to very large. This is 100%. It is not from the Victorian times, at least as far as I know. I sincerely doubt it, but hey, anything's possible. But it is exactly the type of long, simplistic, but with a pop, but not too showy, because you couldn't be too showy, thing that would have been worn by the ladies then. Noelle, where did you find that? Noelle. So these are definitely stones. They are not dyed. They are just this blue. As far as I know, sodalite is more crystalline. So, that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. I wish I could, those rock crystals, and see the knotting in between. The extensive hand knotting says to me quality stones. A lot of work. Why do I keep, every once in a while I spin. You all are seeing that, right? I don't think it's just me. And if it is just me who sees it, that's great. Man, and then when I spin, oh, that's why, because I'm spinning on StreamYard, and then it backs up my phone. So there you go. It just did it again, but it did it for a much longer period of time. So all of you should take a moment and refresh. Push the red line over all the way to the end. Go up to your settings, put your speed on 1.5, but catch up, because what did the mama tomato say to the baby tomato? Catch up. Couldn't help it. Because this has happened to me now 5 times, and I've been way behind on my mobile device. So y'all should refresh. And that is how you refresh. Is Bila still here? It was nice meeting you, Bila. 7, thank you for coming in. 14. About 17 and a half on each side. 17 and a half. So 35 inches in total long. It is a long one. And I mean, it's nice and cold and smooth and sexy, but simple, right? Hi, Melly. How's it going? Melly. Hold on, Melly. I actually don't think I have your information, sweetheart, but you can email it to me. I fully trust you. So it goes right down to the middle of my stuff. It's so pretty. Hi, Melly. It's so nice to see you here again. Weren't you having a sale just a little while ago, Melly? I feel like, oh, Melly, Melly, my email will come up in a minute. Bless. See, it just did it again. For just a split second, I was gone. I would love to talk to you about auctions. California, I think it's much harder to do online auctions than where you are. But I would love to bend your ear about that, because I would like to do that. Were you just on this morning though, Melly? Or am I Adam? Oh no, you know what? That was Tanya. I'm sorry, my bad. That was Tanya. I had to get up and start moving, and then I came upstairs and my dad needed moral support. And no, that was Tanya. Sorry about that. Okay, I love watching Melly. If y'all don't know Melly, that's her channel, Melly's Jewelry Box. Look up her channel. Go over there and give her a watch. It's a lot of fun. So if anyone else besides Melly is interested, you'd need to come in at 23 or higher. Once it's over 50, it goes in increments of 5. I have done fair warning. Now I'm going to do last call. And remember, you all need to it just did it again. Something's happening. Maybe the rain. It's affecting the internet. This is beautiful. Okay. So, all right, everyone. But it's for reasons like this. I love the beads too, Melly. Thank you very much. So send me your info. And if you're comfortable with it, my phone number's at the bottom of my emails. I'll respond to you. I'd love to talk to you about auctions, Melly. I mean that. Because I really want to be able to do that and not the Goodwill online ripoff. And I've searched and searched in California, and it just doesn't seem as though we have any really good options here. So, yeah, if you're comfortable and if you're down for that, we can figure out the time zone difference, and I'd love to chat. I really would. I know you've been doing this for at least as long as I have in different ways. I can tell. You know what you're doing. Okay, going over here. Thank you, Melly. All right, now that everyone has refreshed, and if you haven't, then you might be behind. We'll figure it out. And don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Again, I want to know, this doesn't happen anymore at my dad's. It stopped happening. So maybe they're doing some work in the neighborhood. It has been raining really hard for several days. That usually doesn't affect things. But it used to be that happened a lot, and that's why I always have my phone on to check if I'm glitching or not. Up at my homestead in the middle of nowhere in Mendocino County, I will glitch and be pixelated. I expect that. But I don't expect it here in the city. Okay. Uh-oh. Melly, take care, honey. Send me an email and I will, maybe we'll chat. Have a good evening. Thank you so much, honey. I don't know that I have your email, Melly. But we'll catch up one way or another, okay? It'll be fine. We're good. I know where to find. Oh, my internet keeps doing this. I'm so sorry, y'all. Okay, this is probably from the 30s. And I say that based on the stones, the everything, and this clasp. It's just a fold over. And then it's white, nice quality rhinestones down to this stunning purple. I think it's Art Deco. It's pre-atomic era. So I see that as Art Deco drop. The buildings, the kind of, I don't know how, I can't explain it more than that in this moment when I'm losing some words because of my headache. They are purple. There's 5 strands. I'll show you the back. Oh, yes, Kathy. It's okay, Kathy. Is tonight the old ladies packing and invoicing? I thought that was on Tuesdays. Kathy, did they change it? Oh, here, Melly, let me put it in here. Sorry, you want to go eat dinner. I apologize. There it is, Melly. Kathy, is the old ladies tonight? I thought it was on Tuesdays. Did it get moved to Monday? And Melly, there's my email in the chat. Okay, so here's the back. Got a lot going on with my friends today. Tonight packing. Okay, so it is tonight. Well, I'll stop in for that because I'm getting into a huge fibro flare. And when I'm done with this, I'm just going to go collapse in bed and get definitely Art Deco style. Okay, Kathy, I'll see you there. So, right, Kathy, here's a trivia question. So the thing I kept saying to you about, we ate a whole gopher family. No, we found a whole gopher family. I have no name. Dapper Dan, all of that. Is the movie Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I've been saying this to people for 2 weeks and not a single person knew what I was talking about. Hey, Sarah Lee, have a wonderful time over at your daughter's, and thank you so much for stopping by. I very much appreciate it. Have a good time at your daughter's. Yes, Kathy, oh brother, where art thou? Now, that's the back of it. This is a splendid piece. I've had this hidey hold in a box for 30 years. I bought this when I started selling on eBay in 2000, 2001, and squirreled it away. Yeah, Becky, right? I kept saying to the people who were in here for the last 2 weeks, I have no name. We found a whole gopher family. And then I started saying Dapper Dan. And no one knew what I was talking about. And finally I thought, well, geez, I must be a weirdo. Look at that gorgeous lilac purple. $30 because it's from the 20s and 30s. It's beautiful, y'all. It is short, but it's not quite a choker. And then I will move on from it. I will show you it on. What's another movie? What's another movie? Someone put in a line from a really popular movie. Oh, I lied. It's a choker. I misspoke. I don't lie. I really detest lying. I misspoke. This is beautiful. Now, this would be beautiful with the gloves in a shadow box. Oh, yeah. And if you have a smaller, skinny neck, which a lot of people still do, it's so sexy. It's so sexy. So there you go. And given that it's this tight on my neck as a choker, I'm going to go with 10 to 11, 10 inches on each side. I'm not even going to measure it. It's small. It's small. Oh, another one. I have 100 favorite movies, Becky. I know what that is. Mama always said. So, there you go. So I did say turn of the century Victorian. And this one has its own box that it's had. It's actually the original box, I'm pretty sure. Seriously. Yep. Look at this. All of this in this super old, thick cotton. This has been stored away so the stones don't turn or anything in this original department store or general store box for over 100 years, y'all. That's an easy one. Not your favorite movie? Not Forrest Gump isn't one of your favorite movies? Huh. It's one of mine, but like I'm telling you, I have so many favorite movies. It's that's why I say 100. Because I have so many. Okay, let's do this. And then I'm going to do these. And then I'll do a few household goods. Another reason why I always say to people to drop in the chat if there's something they saw that they really were interested in the preview is because I bring more than I can deal with in a sale. And that's so that you have options and I have options, and I may decide not to show something, or I run down, or whatever. So that's why I always say, watch my preview. Come in and go and adjust your speed to ×2 and just through and drop it in the chat, because I won't always get to all items. It's just the way it is. Let's see. What's another really good movie? Anyone got a really famous, well-known line for a movie? From a movie? And then after a while, this starts at 25, I won't have to think about how I had it great and perfect for a while. Oh no. I don't know what you're saying. I need more information. I don't know what that is. This is a spectacular. Now, this is not Victorian. This is not even turn of the century. But I see this, if it was different stones, kind of a little bit different, I wanted to bring something that could represent in that male, the macho male arena, which would be like a bar pin. So this was the closest I had, although I do have a short of a jewelry box filled with old tie clips and cufflinks and whatever. I'm going to be uploading that short this week, and that will become available. But so this is white melt glass and black glass with rhinestones. It is bent in, and also the black pieces tilt out. I'll show you. I'll take it off this stick. Oh no, Tom Hanks. Oh, wait a minute. Not whatchamacallit. This is from the 50s. Look at how well they did the prong setting. Black glass is, so that's the other thing. Black glass is like jet glass, right? It's not the same thing. But Victorians were very into black glass and jet glass. So that was another reason I decided to throw it in. It's a very large piece. It's almost like a bar pin butterfly. And then it has the rhinestones. Here is the back. And it is probably, look at that. It matches the shirt I'm wearing. That's for sure. Look at that. God, think of this on a shirt like this with this particular colors, or a jean jacket, or on a gentleman. Honestly, on a gentleman, on his tie. I love this piece. Oh no, it's not You Got Mail. Oh my god. Oh. Yes. Yes, Noelle. And you know what? Let's bring men. That's why I've been collecting up all these gorgeous old tie clips and cufflinks and all of that. Because let's bring men's. When I found the men's jewelry box, I was like, yes. What about the men? Let's bring fashion back for men, vintage fashion. Come on. So it is 3 inches long and about 1 inch wide. Yeah, it's a gorgeous piece. It's a really gorgeous piece. So think about it. Look at that. It's just, I love this. I've had this for a long time. Okay. Hat bands. Yes, hat bands. Okay, so I know about, she wants to meet me. It's not You've Got Mail, because that's well, that is Tom Hanks. You've Got Mail? Okay. Yes, it's You've Got Mail. Or Sleepless in Seattle. Becky? No? Dang it. These go together. Both of them. The two. It is Sleepless in Seattle. So I did get there. At first I pictured the whatever. Then I pictured the glass house on the lake in the dad and the whole thing. And then I was like, yep. Okay, so these go together. Why did I bring these to a Victorian themed? They're not Victorian. They're, more like 60s or 70s costume jewelry, but they're teeny tiny, dainty little earrings. And, they're not like crazy expensive or any of the rest of it. But I think for $10 for both of them, they totally meet the Victorian requirements of just simple and very dainty. These are post back earrings. That's another thing. Did women even have pierced ears back in the Victorian times? I doubt it. Just simple, maybe about 1 inch long, teeny tiny, dainty, beige, cream colored with a nice shiny white rhinestone. It's nothing to scream and write home about, but it's nothing to not wear either. And then you have these, sorry, I hate it when that happens. You have these little, are they actually ceramic? Hold on. This is something I always have to check. Yeah, they're actually ceramic. They're not plastic. Little ceramic cameo-like pink tea roses, gold pierced earrings. Just simple. Both of them for $10. If not for you, for a teenager, who's into vintage, but you don't want them to still wear more dainty earrings. So that's $5 a piece. They weigh nothing, so mailing could tuck them right in with something you're already getting. Okay. There you go. That's excellent, Noelle. I love that. Okay. I'm going to do a couple pieces of houseware and then like 2 jewelry items, and I'm going to call it. Yeah, 2.5 hours. Yep. And let's see if in the midst of all of that, if I can, let's see, where am I going? I kind of skipped things to get to where I want to be. Okay. Trying to think of another movie. There's one. Let's see if I can think of it. There's one. I'm trying to think of a line from a movie that I love, but it may be too obscure. Not everyone would love it. I'll see if I can remember. Oh, I know what to say. Okay. To me, this is the hottest item I'm bringing today. This is at least 100 years old, at least. Hand-tooled leather purse. Yep. This, I paid a little up for this, but I didn't, I felt that what I paid was perfectly reasonable, and I'm quite confident that someone will want this. If I didn't carry a cell phone and, you know, all this random things around, I would use this today. No problem. But I don't. So if I wound up keeping this, oh, I'm so sorry, starts at 45. If I wound up keeping this, it would wind up just being a display item. Now that's fine. This would be a beautiful display item. But I have a lot of display items, and I'm getting older and things are going to change, and they're a little uncertain in my life exactly what those changes might look like. So I move out 9 out of 10 and I keep 1. And if this winds up being something I keep, I'll be fine with that. So here's the front. I think those are meant to be stacked roses, but it's up to you to determine. This is the reason why I picked this now, because I'm fading, and this needs to be really looked at. Then you've got, this is how it's sewn together, right? The leather is sewn with this leather cording. Here's the inside. Now, here's the back. Clearly, at some point, as happens to all old leather, this had some leather mildew. It's been cleaned off, and, you know, there's a way you can recondition leather. It's been reconditioned. It doesn't have a smell of that. I don't think it's going to come back. Look at all the cracking and crinkling of the age. I don't think any of that is going to come back. And there, you can have this fixed and treated by like dry cleaners, which I think is probably what someone already did, but you can do it again. You can buy the stuff yourself. And then here is the handle, the strap. This is the only condition issue, is some of the cording, which they did just to kind of make a design, has come undone just right in that one area. If you really wanted to, you could also have that fixed. You could even do it yourself by getting a plastic black cording and putting it through with the appropriate size needle that you push through, and just tying it on the ends there. You could do that, but I don't care. I wouldn't care, and I wouldn't do any of it. Here's where it connects. Brass. Perfect condition. Here is the clasp. it and the other metal there, it's brass, but it definitely has patinaed and worn. Totally understandable. This is probably more like, see, I see this as like the Wild Wild West purses. They were made of leather. Not, the ladies, society ladies had velvet and beaded, and that became very popular more towards the end of the century, and the flapper, the Gilded Age. To me, this can go back to like the 1840s, and I have no way of dating purses like this. I have no way of knowing that. Hello, Husky. How's it going? Oh, interesting. You're not meeting till 5. Oh, and that's right, Sarah Lee. You're over here on the West Coast. Cousins, Enchanted April. I haven't seen any of those movies. That's very, maybe Crossing Delancey. That's fascinating. And I've seen so many movies. Okay, here's the inside of this purse. Or handbag, whatever you want to call it. Let's look at this. So, this is the, what do you call that? Tanned, brushed. This is leather inside. It is that soft, worked. It's worked so that it's soft and it's thin. I can't remember what it's called. And all that is happening right here, there's no edging or tearing. It's just come up from underneath the handle. There you go. You can see right there through it. So again, you just push that there under this metal and clamp it down a little bit more. It's just not that big a deal. And I would be using this for display, y'all. Yeah, you live up in Washington. Yep, I know. I remember. So it's suede. That's what I'm trying to say. It's suede. And it has 2 pockets on each side. Overall, for being, God, what am I talking about here? 125 plus 50. This could be up to 175 years old. And I'm confident in saying that. For being that old, this is in stunning condition. And it is not in mint condition, but I don't think you're going to find very many that are. I don't know what the white is right here. I'm picking at it with my fingernail right now. I think it was like a powder that a lady used, like face powder. Yeah, it doesn't have a smell anymore, and it comes right off onto my hand as I rub it. So it's not a big deal. So if that starts at 45, I cannot go lower, and I will not. I will hold on to it for a long time. Oh, okay. I'm going to look that up tonight. Thank you, Sarah Lee. If you look up purses like this in this condition, which the only condition is that little bit on the handle, and you need to tuck the leather up under the metal and push it down a little, just use it as a display. These sell for hundreds of dollars. They do. They're worth a lot. So do your research, look it up, and get back to me. Okay? It's something that is not as common of an item. It is so that we bring and that we see and we go over in our vintage community. So I understand if people need to take their time with this, and that's fine because it's also costs a lot. But it costs a lot more on eBay, a lot more. So it is essentially 5 inches long from the lowest part of the metal handle, which it's brass. It used to be patinaed black. So what you're seeing is the black wearing off of the brass. But if you go from the beautiful, easy round thumb clasp to the bottom of the purse, the tallest part, it's 6 inches. And if you go from the handle down to the bottom, it's about 9 inches in total long. So there you go. This is the star of the show for me tonight. It's just not something you see. And for instance, I went to that antique mall I was talking about yesterday. And that thing would have been locked up in one of their cases, and they would be asking like $200 to $300 for it. And someone would buy it. Sarah Lee. Exactly. See? Exactly. They are very, very collectible and very pricey. And none of them are in like, hold on, I have to get that powder off my fingernail with this. None of them are in mint perfect condition because they're so old. And people, this was their everyday purse like their whole life, right? And so, and then they get stored in grandma's basement, and then, great grandma's, and then grandma, and then, so they get a little bit of wear. And that's normal. $225. There you go. An enchanted April. I totally need, I'm into the costumes. Okay, so we're going to move on from that. Thank you, Sarah Lee. I appreciate that. Okay, so I said I was going to do, so let me ask you all. I have a extremely old, made in China, but not, Timu. It's 100 years old, oxblood and purple glaze vase back there. I have another Victorian pyrography. I have a purple carved perfume bottle with stopper. Which one? And I also have 2 antique books that are just kind of like love, friendship, little ephemera books. Well, they're not little, but they're thin. What would you like to look at out of all those things? Somebody drop in the chat. I'm going to show 2 more of those and then 2 pieces of jewelry. So someone put in the chat, what would you be interested in looking at? Please let me know. And I'm going to sit and wait for y'all to tell me. Please and thank you. Perfume bottle. 100-year-old gorgeous vase. Phil. Hello, Phil. Welcome. Hello. Okay. First 2. I'll do the perfume bottle and the books. Hi, Phil. How are you, sweetheart? Are you doing good? Are you okay? And Phil, I went through, just so you know, I didn't forget about you. I went through and looked at all of my bracelets because, we were talking about Sarah, and you wanted like the nicer colors, and it's been quite a while since her birthday now. You wanted the other colors, and I have these larger sized spacers, orange and black. I got to take a moment with Phil while she's here. And then I just have these orange, red, yellow, like 1960s, really fun noise ones. Now, both of those would fit onto my hand. Okay. So I have these. If you think that you are interested in either one of those about Sarah, I will take photos sometime this week and send them to you. So just put in the chat that yes, you're still interested, or no, it's too late and you did something else, because it is late. And you absolutely probably did something else by now. How much for both sets, Phil? Phil, since I'm not selling them directly today, okay. Could you just send me an email as a reminder, and then I will take photos and I will send you the price in an email? Okay. Thank you, honey. That will work better. Okay. Start. Thank you, Phil. And are you okay? Oh, okay. Good. Good. I think about you a lot, and I think about your health, and I say a little prayer. I send out good universal vibes. So this is like the black purple carved perfume bottle. It is not from the Victorian era. It's from the 50s. But this would absolutely be, it's a reproduction of, a type of bottle that would be on the vanity. Probably it's pretty large. They often have smaller bottles. So, it might have been more turn of the century when this would have been. Look at it. Okay, let's take the stopper off. Don't want to screw that up. You're welcome, honey. Look at this. And it is a purple black. Look at that. There is no chips, no damage at all. It even has the original I Rice Japan sticker. Is that not incredible? Does that say something over there? Am I crazy? You see that? Thank you, Sarah Lee. I've never seen that. There's a whole thing over there. I've only shown this. This, I think, might be my third time. But what does that say? I never knew there was writing over here. It's like cut into the glass. What does it say? Oh, my Lord. Come on. Don't fail me now, eyes. Oh, okay. This is, okay. It says I Rice, which is a Japanese company. They just imported this, and this black sticker threw me off. But I just went with, okay, Japan, I Rice, I know them, 1950s. No, you will get a screaming deal if you buy this at 38. Because you know what this says that I only just now noticed? It is cut into the glass, made in Czechoslovakia. This is Czech glass, carved, cut Czech glass. Holy moly. This is probably worth $100, if not more. Oh my God. I had no idea. So if no one buys it, I will be very happy. But if someone buys it, I will also be happy that you are getting a deal. Oh my Lord. You have to have the light just right. I had no idea. It says made in Czechoslovakia. So they just imported it. That's so confusing. And or some unscrupulous dealer didn't see this because it's not that easy to see and slapped on a Japan sticker, and it has nothing to do with it, because I don't see how Czechoslovakian glass, purple black, has anything to do with Japan. Czechoslovakia exported their own stuff. They're known for glass. What the heck is up with that? Yeah, this makes me, it does say, iRice product. See, that's the problem. iRice product, something for New York, right? Something's weird. I mean, I guess Czechoslovakia could have made it and then Japan bought it and then they sold it, but that doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. I really think that sticker, I will do a dive on that, but I don't think that belongs there. Okay. Wow. So $38 is a steal. And look at the stopper. See how, that's the other thing. The stopper just looks so much older than the 50s. Look at all the lines, the waves. It just, there was something that wasn't adding up in my brain, and mystery is not solved, but there's an explanation for that. The stopper's in perfect condition. The dauber is here. Look at that. This just never happens. Wow, it is carved deep purple Czech glass. Good Lord. Okay, this, y'all look up carved perfume Czech glass bottles. Yeah, Noelle, this is the first time that I've run across something like this. Generally, it lines up, but I always felt like this particular bottle, 1950s Japan, didn't make sense, And now I know why. It is 2 3/4 inches tall without the stopper. 2 3/4 inches tall without the stopper. And the stopper itself is a little over 1 1/4 inches. And how wide is it? About 2 inches. It's so gorgeous. So this would absolutely be something turn of the century that was on your vanity. And, you bought perfume in like plain kind of chemist bottles and then poured it in a funnel into your special little bottles. So if this is not bought, this is coming back at double the price next time. And it'll still, I will do my research, but it'll still, I'm sure, be cheaper. Czech glass is just highly coveted. Noelle knows that. Okay, Becky. In boxcar loads of Czechoslovakian crystal before. Oh. Okay. Thank you, Becky. So they went over there and saved all this stuff because of the war. I mean, everything was ravaged. So they bought it out and okay. but this was made in Czechoslovakia, before World War II, most definitely. And then Japan went and saved this stuff before World War II, because Czechoslovakia is right in the middle of all that mess. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to look it up. I'm definitely going to research that. Thank you so much. And this is going over here because it's getting researched. Wow. That was really an interesting find. I'm so glad someone said perfume bottle. That was really interesting. Okay, now the books. You have seen these books, Phil. You may or may not remember it. I have a lot of these from our friend. Not a lot, but many. And these are two that I could still keep them, but I'm also offering them to y'all because we're talking about Victorian theme. And this is most definitely that. The Best Wishes series. Pleasant Thoughts. Now, choice 20. This one is got some roughage here. So I may actually change the pricing. I'm not sure on this one. So it's lithograph. There is no date. It's stunning lithographs with little sayings. So those are Johnny Jump Ups or pansies. Look at the birds. Hi, Shannon. Shannon, your last name seems familiar. Have we met before? Hello, 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 Shannon. And thank you for that. Yes, that sounds correct. I will do that. Shannon, have you been here before? I feel as though we have met, but it's been a while. Is that right, or am I crazy? Okay, so you get the idea. It's almost like a little book, this one and the other, and it has this lovely words. It's almost like instead of giving someone a card, you would give them this little book when their health isn't doing good, or when you're very good friends as a parting gift, or you get the idea, right? And this one's in a little bit of rough shape. So I think I'd like to say that this one you could have for 15 because it's in a little rough shape. So this one, if you want it, 15. Bye, Phil, honey. You go rest, okay? And please send me an email about those two pair. Remind me what it's about, and I will get you pictures out, okay? Big hugs, honey. This is the other one. I love this one. And this one has its, see, this is what's missing on the other one. The cording, because they put books together with string or cording. These are very old, and that's how they did it. There is in this one from Mrs. E.R. Force, Sterling, Colorado. This one is my favorite. Hold on. I got this, and I mean, I've spent hours going over the lithographs. And if you didn't like the books the way they are, which I do, I have a big stack of these antique books, by my bedside table, and every once in a while I pick them up and I just read a little quote or I look at the picture in a very detailed way. You could do the terrible thing of taking them apart and putting them in frames. I won't know. So I won't know. This one is 20. So I'm going to read to you for a second. How charming in some rural spot, combining love with garden plot, at once to cultivate one's flowers and one's epistolary powers, growing one's own choice words and fancies in orange tubs and beds of pansies, one's sighs and passionate declarations in odorous rhetoric of carnations, seeing how far one's stock will reach, taking due care one's flowers of speech. Love it. Well, welcome, Shannon. I appreciate you being a lurker. So the whole book is just this beautiful language with these stunning lithographs. A lot of people who are into tattoos use these old antique lithographs to jump off for an idea for tattoos because they're so well done. And then these are just these beautiful uplifting books. Yep, and this one's very thick. So this one's 20 and the other one's 15. Thank you for looking. Okay. Now, this is actually, even though I'm going to research it, it needs to go back over there. Okay, I'm going to do 2 pieces of jewelry and then I'm going to finish. Please, everyone, give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. It helps me. I need to grow my business. I need to be able to support myself, once my father is no longer with us. So help me out. Okay. It's easy and it's free and you never have to come back. If you don't like me, you never have to come back. But that subscription and, that little thumbs up takes you just a couple, maybe a minute or less. It enormously helps me with the YouTube thing. Okay, let's get rid of the choice for 20. And I'm showing 2 pieces of jewelry and then I'm closing. I have gone over 3 hours and that's a long time for me. But I've enjoyed myself and it's distracting me from my fibro flare. So this is fascinating. I think it's beautiful. Why did I pick this as a Victorian style? Because it's that simple necklace. However, it's not super long. This is contemporary. It's been these are real crystals. They have been AB coated. And it reminded me in a certain kind of way, even though it's more opalescent, of pools of light crystals, which is something that absolutely would have been worn during the Victorian times. And do you see down at the bottom that yellow coming through? These beads change in the light. They're opalescent, kind of like fire opal. So they can seem just this milky color. They can flash like fire opals, all the purples and pinks and reds that fire opals do. I mean, they're doing that for me right now, but you probably can't see that. Then when the light hits, there's a pink right over there. I don't know if you can see that. Then when there's a lot of light shining through, instead of the opalescent, they turn like a golden yellow honey color. See, look. And do you see the yellow? So the only ones that do that are these here, turn the golden yellow, and the one at the bottom down here. Let me put it on Dolly. It's really beautiful. And it's not lightweight. It has a toggle closure. It's not lightweight because these are cut crystal beads. See, black blows everything out. I'm ordering a white linen one for my homestead when I'm up there. And I almost feel like I want to do that, sell the shine for here, because this black one, every time I go to show something on this, it just, oh no, I'm wrong. All of them do the yellow. See, it just depends on the light. This is beautiful. In the sunlight, this will be making rainbows everywhere. Everywhere. I'm betting it's about 16 inches. But so anyway, to finish that thought, I'm going to get a linen dolly for here as well, and I'll donate the black one, or I'll use it to hold stuff back there that I'm going to bring for a sale, or I don't know. Because it blows out the color. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So, and it's on metal wire. And each one is enclosed by a smaller cut faceted crystal bead. And it's on wire because it's heavy. I mean, it's kind of has that invisible look. There's also metal crimpers on each one right there. And they could have done this on like cordage, but I appreciate that they did it on metal. And then just down towards the bottom, and the bottom one has the silver toned finials. I guess just to give it some extra pop. Oh, Sarah Lee. Okay, hold on. I'm going to put this on. It's a lovely book, Sarah Lee. This is so beautiful. I know it's contemporary. There's certain contemporary, I don't care that it's contemporary because it's just so gorgeous. Look at how pretty this is. And imagine for $16 start, imagine all the rainbows. In the summer, in a t-shirt. I talk about that all the time. In the summer in a t-shirt, or in the summer in a little shirt with a skirt, walking around during the day. Absolutely fab. Fab. That's the word of the day. Fab. Okay. So based on how long it is, it comes down to right here at the top of my sternum bone. It's about a 16 incher. Okay. $16, 16 inches long. I will fix my screen in a minute. I will take care of Sarah Lee's request, and I will show one more piece of jewelry and close for the night. Put that down carefully. Sarah Lee. It's hi, Jane Napier. What a name. Hello, Jeannie. I've never met you either. Hello and welcome. No, it's not silver. It's just metal. So the beads themselves is the show, and then it's just on wire, invisible, but it's not sterling silver. If it was sterling silver, I'd be asking more than $16. Yeah, it's not sterling silver, but it's a beautiful piece. Okay, so hold on, Sarah. Sarah Lee. Sarah Lee. You mean this one? Yes. I love this. That's why I have a lot of them, and I just reach over every once in a while and read them. So, Sarah, you mean this one? Yes. I just want you to say yes in the chat. before I write it down and show my last item. And this is a time for anyone who's in here to please remember to give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't. And if you saw my preview and there's something I haven't showed that you really want, put it in the chat now. So Sarah Lee, honey, it is almost 5. I'm just going to assume this is the book you want, and I'm going to say sold to you. Yeah, I know you said you have to go to your daughter, so I don't know if you're still here, but I don't want to hold everyone else up. Okay. Thank you. And Sarah Lee, I have your information, don't I? I'm pretty sure. I feel like I have sold you something. It's been a while, but I feel like I do. So, Sarah, can you? I'm pretty sure that I do, but just in case I don't, or you think you haven't bought from me, could you send me an email with your information by 9 o'clock tonight, please? Thank you, and have a great time with your daughter. Okay, this is the last piece of jewelry I'm going to show. And since I've been on a Victorian kick, I'm going to do this one. It is not Victorian. It is definitely more modern. I used to know who the maker was, I think, but I don't anymore. It was sold to me. Here, it was sold to me by a good friend of mine and Phil's in the vintage community. Let me get rid of that start. Oh, yeah, you did, Sarah Lee, sorry. You did. Okay, this is the last item of the sale. Like I said, if there was something I didn't show, you could drop it in the chat, or if there was something you were thinking about but you haven't jumped on, now is the time. Or if you're rewatching, you can email me. I have people email me all the time after sales. Okay, so this is, again, in the Victorian theme. Simple pearl necklace, but this is contemporary. These are real pearls. I'll show you the clasp. They are real pearls on a copper lobster claw with extender. Why copper? Don't know. These are real pearls with little, are they bead or? I think they're bead, gold bead, glass bead spacers, because they're different. See, that one's much fatter and the other one, then they're small. So first you have these small beads, and the color is blowing out a little. I'll show you that in a minute. First you have these small beads. They are real. Going down like this. It's a long necklace. And then towards the end, you have the freshwater pearls and some potato pearls. I mean, potato pearls are freshwater pearls. I'm just saying some of them are in the shape of potato pearl, and some of them are just a natural shape. They have a lot of different translucence going on. And then at the bottom, this is a very Victorian thing. It's a repop of that, is this tassel. I remember that my friend who sold me a bunch of jewelry bought this for herself in the 70s. That much I remember. But it's a long time since it was in the bag. And it has this little gold leaf right here. That may be a clue as to its maker. That may be like a particular maker's mark. I am not sure. So here's the back of it. So this is a very Victorian, that they would wear a very long, simple pearl necklace with a tassel at the bottom. Yeah, and they're real pearls. And yeah, 70s. See, it's still on string. That is actual string, not fishing line. That's a great way to be able to date things. And it's very long, and I was just trying to stick to that theme. I only had, so many actual antiques. And I do have antique clip-on earrings and all that. I brought a couple, but it's harder to sell antique clip-on earrings. So this is right above my belly button almost. It's very long. It's a very sexy and very elegant, while not being overstated, if you will. $22 for an all pearl necklace is a very good price, I think. I think it's a good price. Jeannie came in, Jeannie Napier. And so now all I can think of in my head, this green necklace got tangled with it, is that it's Napier, but it's not. I do not think it is, and it would be signed. Look at that. Now I have these together. This is terrible, y'all. Okay, one or the other of these has to stop. I can't even see what I'm doing. Oh, no. I don't know. Okay. It all has to come off because I can't. See, and I wore this beautiful green glass hand knotted, super long necklace that I got from my really good friend, Karen Chasing Vintage today, because of the theme of simple, long necklaces. I'm going to take that off now, though. Okay. So this has, I don't know, like 75 pearls. It's super long. I'll tell you how long it is, and then I'm going to get off. And no one is dropping anything in the chat about an item that they saw or that they're interested in. So I'm just going to assume that everyone is good. And if you're not, you can tell me in an email later. 14. 20. It's like 18 inches with the pearls without the 1.5 inch extender, and then the tassel is 3 inches. So the math at this time of day, like 21 inches on 21 to 22 inches on each side. I'm going to go with 25 because it's way down here. I'm going to call it 25 inches. So, and they are, let's move my ring light for a minute. They are a white luster with they're like a cream. These pearls up top are like a cream, and then the freshwater pearls have all kinds of different luster going on. Okay. Okie dokie. So, thank you everyone who has come in today. Thank you everyone who has been here and chatted. Thank you everyone who has helped me learn and all the rest of us learn about different items. I appreciate all of you so very much. Thank you for purchasing items and supporting my small business. Thank you for giving me a thumbs up and subscribing or thinking about subscribing. I appreciate all of it more than you know. I will be back on Friday, 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for my Friday jewelry show and tell. Very similar format to today, but just jewelry, where, we talk and we debate and I tell you why I think it's from when, and we find things like that perfume bottle that had the rice, and I was like, why? Made in Japan? But no, it's made in Czechoslovakia. And then Becky and everyone starts putting in, and Jeannie, and Shannon, all this information, right? And it's like, oh, okay, look what we learned. This is great. So bye, Becky. You have a wonderful evening as well. So I will see everyone on Friday, and then that will be the end of my 2-week Build-A-Box. So I will be invoicing Saturday and Sunday and shipping out Monday. Now, there was one housekeeping, but I emailed her and I didn't see her today. So it's okay. And Susan Vuvu, if you are watching, honey, I need you to pay your invoice for me, okay? Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Good night.